Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Skull Session Recruiting Podcast brought to you by BuckeyeHuddle.com. I am Marc Givler. We've got Kevin Noon here as our signing day recruiting capsules continue. All the guys who are signing today with Ohio State in the 2023 class, we can talk about all of them. We are on to Jayden Bonsu right now, four-star safety, St. Peter's Prep in North Jersey, kind of right there across the water from New York City. I've been to the school before. Fantastic football program. Same program that produced Cody Simon, Ohio State linebacker. So they dip back into that outstanding football program in North Jersey there. What are the Buckeyes getting? We got they've got three safeties coming in this class. They all kind of bring something a little different to the table. What do you like about Jayden Bonsu?
Physicality. He's a thumper. He's going to be somebody who's going to get out there, not going to be afraid to lay the wood, to get up there and run support and do a lot of things that are necessary. I mean, you're going to have some guys that are going to be a little bit more in terms of like a cover safety or somebody that has to cover a ton of ground. And that's not to say that Jayden Bonsu can't cover ground himself, but you look at what he is, you look and say, okay, he's 6'1", 210 pounds, and here let me put some of his tape on there. I mean, he's going to be somebody who is going to give you an added note of that that toughness that gets, you see right there, he just blows that kid up. That Ohio State has had to deal with this this label about not being physical, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Jayden Bonsu, he's not going to do anything to perpetuate any of those stereotypes with his play, just because he's somebody who, he's got great ball skills. He was able to just, kind of jump that route right there and haul it in, but he's also just going to lay the wood.
He's kind of a throwback. He's almost like a Jermail Hines or even a C. Grant type of player. His body type and extremely physical, excellent blitzer. I think they've done more this year. I think with blitzing the safeties. Lathan Ransom has probably been utilized most in that role among their safeties. There's that aspect to his game that I think they can really take advantage of. But I think he's more of like maybe your tight end stopper, your bigger, more physical safety. And again, he's almost kind of a throwback player of, could he even be like a weak side linebacker? I think he could. So I mean, that's going to be the one interesting thing to me is, does he become that type of player, or will they keep him at safety? I think that's the only question I think I have, because he is such a violent player, and so much of these, so you look at you're watching this film, so much of this stuff is up in the box. I mean, the way he comes down and runs support is just so impressive. Just a very explosive athlete, but clearly they think he runs well enough to, to play a safety position for him. And I think you hit on it with you're getting this label of, are they physical enough on defense? Well, this kid's physical. There's not going to be any question about this kid's physicality. So that this is going to be, I think, an interesting one to track. He's not Malik Hooker. He's not a free safety. He's gonna be more up in the box in the slot, and he's gonna bring a serious physical presence. This was an interesting recruitment to kind of follow. There were so many. It was just a total game of musical chairs this summer with defensive back recruiting and with safety recruiting. And early on, I was like, oh yeah, Ohio State's in good shape here. Things are going well. There was a point where it looked like he might go to Miami, and that he kind of had like a commitment date set, and it felt like it was going away from Ohio State and toward Miami. And for whatever reason, dominoes fell a certain way. And, as his August announcement date approached, it kind of swung back the other way. And I have to credit Alex Gleitman on this one. He's also a fellow North Jersey guy there. So he had kind of some great insight into Jayden's recruiting process while he was uncommitted. So we had a lot of good stuff there. But it was an interesting recruitment to follow. It had some ebbs and flows to it, and then once he committed, that was that. And so Another guy in this defensive back class, these safeties we're going to be talking about that, not a lot of drama there. Pretty straightforward recruiting processes. Once they committed, there wasn't a whole lot of extra stuff after that, and so we're going to talk about this with all the safeties. There's opportunity here. Regardless of what Lathan Ransom does, they are low on bodies. They are low on experience. They've lost a couple of guys to the portal. They may bring in one from the portal and kind of help bridge the gap here with these youngsters. But you kind of said it. They don't have a lot of guys like this necessarily in that safety room right now. Is he a guy physically, maybe, as we've talked about with a couple of these other guys at different positions, maybe more physically ready than a lot of these other guys?
Yeah, I got like 20 things I want to say as you're going through it. I mean, I'll start with, at one point it looked like, oh, they're going to get 5 safeties. Caleb Downs was in the mix. Damon Fagan was in the mix. And then, guys peel off. And then when it looked like that maybe Bonsu was looking at Miami and that's where he'd be, it was like, well, I mean, do they have to revisit on some guys that they were there? Now, they sat there, they have a solid 3-man class, it appears, in terms of, as the faxes come in. But his physicality certainly gives him a leg up. We know that everybody kind of cuts their teeth on special teams. We saw some special teams footage there in his clip reel. I think he's somebody that does have that type of opportunity. I mean, it's going to be a matter of learning the Jim Knowles defense and being able to understand his role. And I think a lot of times with young players, everybody wants to try and do too much. And, I'm not trying to go back previous administrations, multiple, but, do 1/11th of the defense, go out and do your job. It's when you get out and start playing hero ball that things go awry because you're not taking care of your responsibilities. But I think Jayden Bonsu certainly has an opportunity when you look at kind of where the safety room is with the departures, kind of with the makeup of what they've got, because you're right, all 3 of the safeties that we're expecting to sign today, or Ohio State to sign today, they all kind of do something a little bit different, and there's not a lot of Jayden Bonsu's in that room right now. So if they value that type of physicality, I think that you're going to have to take a really good look at him when the 23 season rolls around.
Yeah, he's interesting to me. I could see him. I think they'll roll with as many vets as they can come up with at safety, but I could absolutely see him on special teams. The way he runs and hits seems like just a perfect guy for kick and punt team. The way he tackles. And you mentioned Damon Fagan. I think that was really the choice that Ohio State came down to, and they went with Jayden Bonsu. They could have got Damon Fagan. They decided not to. They obviously would take Caleb Downs at any point, and if Caleb Downs is unhappy in Tuscaloosa, they'll take him in 6 months, I'm sure. But it didn't work out. I don't think they ever really factored Caleb Downs into the numbers. I think that was just a kid of, we're taking this kid if he wants to be here. And so the real numbers decision was do we take Damon Fagan and Jayden Bonsu? Do we just one or the other? And, it turned out that, they didn't want to get both. So Bonsu's their guy. And this is a guy that, Perry Eliano really seems to like. And so this will be kind of a nice look at Perry Eliano. He's been known for a great eye for talent with some of the guys he recruited and developed Cincinnati, and so he sees something here as well. So that'll be interesting to kind of see how this one plays out. But yeah, I love his willingness to hit and tackle. That's for sure. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. We have. There's a bunch of them. Get on BuckeyeHuddle.com. We're doing capsules on all these guys. Going 9, 10, 11 minutes on all these guys, just kind of recapping their recruiting process, looking at their video a little bit. People who don't cover or don't follow recruiting on a day-to-day basis, just trying to give you a little crash course here on what your favorite team's about to have added to their roster here in the next couple weeks. And you can, again, find all these on the front page of BuckeyeHuddle.com. YouTube.com/Buckeye Huddle. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you just would prefer to listen and instead of doing the whole video thing, we should be on all your podcast platforms. So appreciate everyone watching and listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.